It started as a fun project. Jenny had decided to help her grandmother sort through old family photos stored in dusty albums and faded shoeboxes. Her grandmother, a spirited woman in her 80s, delighted in recounting the stories behind each photo. "This is your great-uncle Henry on his wedding day," her grandmother said, pointing to a sepia-toned photo. "And this one here is the farm where your great-grandparents raised their children." Jenny smiled, enjoying the glimpse into the past. But one photo caught her attention, a black-and-white snapshot of a family picnic. It was an idyllic scene, smiling faces, a checkered blanket, and children playing in the background. Except for one thing. In the far corner of the photo, half hidden by the trees, stood a man. He wasn't smiling. His face was pale, his eyes sunken, and his expression unsettling. Unlike everyone else, who looked relaxed and joyful, this man exuded an air of menace. "Who's this?" Jenny asked, pointing to the figure. Her grandmother squinted at the photo, her expression turning grim. "I don't know," she admitted after a pause. "He doesn't look familiar. Maybe he was someone passing by." Jenny wasn't convinced. The man's presence felt deliberate, as though he'd positioned himself there intentionally. Over the next few days, Jenny couldn't stop thinking about the photo. She scanned through the rest of the collection, wondering if she'd see him again. And then she did. In a different photo, this one of her great-grandmother as a young woman, the same man was visible. He stood in the background, his face partially obscured by a shadow. His expression hadn't changed. Jenny felt a chill run down her spine. "Grandma, look. He's here again," she said, showing her the second photo. Her grandmother's face grew pale. "That's strange," she whispered. "I've never noticed him before." Jenny decided to dig deeper. She borrowed the photos and took them to a local historian who specialized in old photographs. The historian, a wiry man named Mr. Calloway, examined the images closely. "These were taken decades apart," he said, tracing a finger over the photos. "But the man hasn't aged a day." Jenny's unease deepened. "Is it possible he's just a coincidence?" Mr. Calloway shook his head. "Not likely. His position in the photo suggests he was aware of the camera. He wasn't just an accidental bystander." Curiosity turned into obsession. Jenny scoured online forums, old records, and even newspaper archives, trying to identify the man. What she found was more disturbing than she could have imagined. A faded newspaper article from the 1920s reported the disappearance of a photographer during a family picnic. The article included a sketch of the missing man, and it was him. The same gaunt face, the hollow eyes. According to the article, the photographer had wandered into the woods during a shoot and was never seen again. His camera was found near a stream, shattered, with the film inside mysteriously intact. Jenny's heart pounded as she realized the implications. The man wasn't a relative or a passerby. He was the photographer himself. Somehow, he'd become a part of the photos he once took. But the mystery didn't end there. One evening, as Jenny sat alone in her apartment, sorting through the photos yet again, her phone buzzed. It was an email from an anonymous sender. The subject line read, "Stop looking." Jenny hesitated before opening it. Inside was a single sentence, "Some things are better left forgotten." Attached to the email was a photo. It was a recent picture of her, sitting at her desk, holding the same family photos. And in the background, standing by the window, was the man.